Alrighty, good morning, you heathens. Today we're going to be doing episode 3 of City Skylines. In this episode, hopefully we're going to extend the highway, take it over to the farming area that we're going to build, and get the farming area set up as well. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to define a farming district, so that way we can start setting up our different industrial specialization buildings and stuff like that. So, let's go ahead and go into our districts and areas. Go over to paint industrial area. I'm going to make it bigger just so we can get a general definition of it. Then we're going to map out where exactly we want it. I think that about covers the area. Of course, we can always come back in and repaint it and stuff like that. Alright, now that we have our farming area named and defined, what we're going to do is we're going to have this highway snake in right here and cut right down the middle of these two plots of land. So let's go ahead and define that highway and some intersections as well, and then we'll be able to start building up our farming district a little bit more. So I am going to kick it into time-lapse mode so that way you can watch the highway being built. Alrighty, I think I'm going to cut back in real quick and I'm going to go ahead and define our farm main area. Now let's see if that's centered a little bit better. Yes, it is. So we're going to put it right in the center there. As you can see, we have unlocked more of the farming district perks and stuff like that. More fields, fruit fields, animal pastures, all that good stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and place some of those, because that is how we're going to make our money, is via farms. And this area right here will eventually get decorated, but for now this is fine the way it is. So let's go ahead and build some roads. I'm going to see if this is big enough for the fields. It's a bit too big actually. Okay, we'll actually go ahead and shorten that road a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some fields down. Now, these are a little bit expensive. so. And then what I want to do is I actually want to go in here and edit this. I did want this to be a greenhouse, but I want the rest of these to be wheat. Just because I think that wheat always looks so good in these games. But having these side by side like this will make it appear like its own crop field. Alright, I've got the beginning portion of our farm. Next thing I want to do is go in and tidy things up a little bit by making some better connections here. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. I do feel as though this is going to make traffic a little bit better, especially with the connectivity. I do want another connection here, and I want to, let's go back to the beginning, extend this out the same way that I extended this one out, all the way to the river. Actually, let's go ahead and delete these, and we'll get some water pipes going real quick, because that is very crucial to this setup. So there's that. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in water pipes. That way y'all don't have to just watch me do that. I'm going to go ahead and cut, and I'll be right back once the water and the electricity are in. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I went ahead and added power to our farming district and water. Now, we are having an issue over here with not having enough workers. So I do have to go in and manually delete these. This is going to be a problem. We should really go ahead and implement a new area for residential. I think I'm going to have some more residential over here, but with this being the farming district, I'm thinking that we build a nice little residential area right here for the farming community, just to have it, and then I can always make the connections across over to the main growth area. But this right here would make for some really nice living area. I'm gonna start with some planning, and then I think what I'll do is I'll cut to the build, so that way we can get ourselves into another time lapse. But for now, I will be right back. Alright, and there's that time lapse. Please ignore the awful piping. I realized that it was not the best. However, now we should have, assuming, I'll probably need to add some power line connections, but I do have a lot more growth right here where we can add more Sims. I do want to add a school district right here at some point, and I also want to make a district, my first district of the series, right here. This is just going to be a rough outline. I don't want to go in and highly detail its edges, just because right now the idea is getting more people in. And then I want to go into here, manage some policies, and this right here, we want to do schools out. We want to have some more workers than anything else. So we're going to turn schools out, even though we are going to have a school district right here, just because we still want it, right? That's the only policy I want to put in right now. We'll go ahead and sneak some power in real quick. Do that. And now this should explode with growth, which is really what we're wanting. So we are going to let that grow. And I want to come over here and see how this is doing. We have 80 out of 150 workers, which is, it's going to shoot up. And then we have plenty of resources being made, so this thing should level up fairly soon and we can start expanding it a bit more. But for now, I have some decent connections over and about. This will get more connected the more that we grow, and we're also going to turn this into a tiny little residential area as well. Other than that, all we need is for this to grow. Now, I am worried about our highway. Like I said, I do want to go in and correct that at some point. And I do want to get rid of this industrial area. I want this to be our main industrial zone. And so maybe when this thing gets big enough, we'll go ahead and when it starts demanding more industry. No, we'll wait until we're ready to delete this and stuff like that. But for now, this is going to be our little farming district area. It should go well with the farm, and it should provide plenty of workers for this farming complex we're going to have in the near future. With that being said, obviously our highway is not as nice as we would like it to be. I should probably get Traffic Manager Presidential Edition, or whatever the acronym stands for, just so that way I have less despawning of my cars and stuff like that, because that is changing the way that this game is running. We might consider actually working on this right now, but I do want to save up a little bit more before I start, because highway roads are so expensive and there will be a lot of deleting and stuff that goes on as well. My idea that I have right now is that the highways will either go under or above. I'm thinking under, just to give me more space. Highways will go under, we'll have some sort of roundabout, maybe right here, is what I'm feeling. And then we'll have, we'll have little connectors or stuff like that going on. I think the idea behind it is supposed to be that these roads right here, these thoroughfares, are supposed to be the ones that connect to the roundabout. So your roundabout would be here, and then these roads would connect to the roundabout in place of these. And so you'd have an in and out on this side and an in and out on this side, and then your main thoroughfare connected on that roundabout. But I want to tinker with that a little bit more as we go along, and like I said, I do need a little bit more money. I think I'm going to cut away, and once I have about 80,000 in the bank, I'll come in and build this first interchange. So, with that being said, I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm going to bring you back right now. I do actually want to go in and kind of tweak some of these connections that we have. So I'm going to pause the simulation during this, delete these connections right here, because I don't think they're going to serve a valuable purpose. And I'm going to go through and add one right here, which realistically makes a lot more sense, right? just because of the fact that this is what this road is meant for. It is acting as a bit of an arterial through our city. I am going to go in and remove this. I don't think this was a good idea. So, do that really quick. Problem solved. Now let's go ahead and add our roads. Oh, that's kind of important. 90. Let's go ahead and do something like that. Perfect. Well, as perfect as it can be. So, I think that connection right there makes a lot more sense than having one right here and one right here, because it connects to our farming district. But I think that that is a much better place for that. And I feel as though this right here is a little congested with intersections. So one of these is probably going to go, more than likely this one. But realistically, it would make more sense to put one right in the middle here to kind of space out these intersections a bit more. So I have the 80,000 that I was wanting. Now I'm going to go through and remake this so that the roundabout works and this should flow a little bit better. So I will put us in a bit of a time lapse, and then once I get back, this should feel and look a whole lot more realistic than it does right now, because this is not at all how highways work. But with that being said, I will be right back. Alright, if I've done this correctly, this should function a little bit better. I don't necessarily now like these tiny roads. As long as they don't get too heavy, it should be fine. And I deleted this little breakaway slip road, which might actually cause some more issues down the line. But that's kind of what these roads are meant for. They're meant to get off here and then decide which way to go, dividing traffic as much as possible. Because the more accessibility your Sims have, the faster they're gonna go. And I do still have these roads being two ways just because it provides a little bit more coverage, essentially, for where people want to go. I'm gonna press play now, and we're gonna see how this goes. I do think I want to get Traffic Manager to turn off despawning, and I want to get Move It to make things a little more realistic. With that being said, that intersection is now complete, and it saves us a little bit more headache down the line. Now, as for these should be less traffic than this intersection, for instance. This should only need to have this as an overpass, and then little slip lanes off and on the highway should work a charm just fine. With that, I did try to respect lane hierarchy with 3 lanes, 1 lane slip off, so 2 lanes, and then 1 lane slip on turns back to 3 lanes. So that should all function pretty well. Then I did a 2-way highway in the center. I don't think we need more than 2 right here, but it also doesn't have the proper functions of a roundabout. I'll make another roundabout over here where the highway goes back under, and then the roundabout and all that happens again. And then these 3 right here are just going to be regular American-sized coverage, essentially. I want to see how this plays whenever I make it raised, just because I want to experiment with it, kind of see how things go. But for now, I'm going to pause the simulation, and we are going to go in and delete this connection right here and raise it 1. So I'm going to grab my 2-lane road straight ahead, and then I'm going to turn elevation steps all the way down and then page up 3 times to get 9 height. over, connect, connect. Perfect. And then I think I want the slip lanes to be on and off, but not directly connect into this intersection. I think that's too much traffic flow. I believe the best way to go about this would be to have these slip lanes here and here. So this is going to act as a standard American kind of connection. These little slip lanes would act perfectly. I'd like to make them a little bit longer, so I might do something like this. Yeah. So you'd have these little slip lanes into this main highway right here. Normally these would be one way, just because it would make points of conflict with traffic going this way, because you just want free-flowing traffic to go through. And so in these areas I might have to reevaluate. Let's go ahead and do this. Try to get that connection. It's not pretty, but it'll work. And then same thing over here. Let's go ahead and make this right here. But that feels better. And then same thing over here. No. It's a bit too janky. Let's fix that. Something like that. Upgrade the road to face the right way. We'll upgrade these down to 2 lanes. I guess technically we would downgrade them, but I digress. So now, I don't think it's going to function perfectly, but yeah, I figured that was going to be a bit of a problem. We do something like, let's turn all connections off, please. So we're going to do something like this, like that. Turn those skylines back on. That's not perfect. In fact, I'd probably move the entire power line to the side. They'd probably not build it in the center anyways. They probably wouldn't have the power lines at all, but that should work for the time being. And I want to see how traffic flows on here, because I don't know how well this is going to work. It should work, but I don't know if it's going to work well. There is one more thing that I forgot to install, which is going to be health, police, and fire departments. So we're actually going to go ahead and throw some of those down, just because they are vital to safety of our sims, and I've never seen a city that didn't have all 3 of those resources. So I've got all 3 of them in there. Could throw in a little school over here in this little school district thing that we're planning on making. We grab this road. Do something like that. Upgrade roads around it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a elementary school in there and fix our spacing on this right here. Perfect. There's the elementary school, and then we do still want a high school at some point, but for now that's our farming little area set up. We'll do some more detailing in another episode. I don't know if that'll be next episode or not. I haven't figured out what the best way to space out the growth episodes versus the design episodes, but I do plan on figuring it out in the coming weeks, hopefully. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go take a look at our farm. Producing plenty of resources, need more workers. We might actually consider going in and extending our crop area a little bit. Something like, what is that, 200? So we'll do 200, like another... I actually want to leave this open because I want to have these butted up with another set, or to have the larger ones. I believe the mediums actually grow in size, and we'll go in and we'll add another small crop field. I don't have enough for a second one quite yet, so let me go in here and change this over to wheat again. And we'll slowly expand that growth a little bit. Oh, need some water, so let's do that. The field, and then I wonder if maybe I should... I'll just keep expanding the field until we get enough workers, which could be any moment now, because I am... Let's see... at 144 out of 150. That will probably happen in the near future. Let me go ahead. And we actually unlocked Busy Town. This one is going to have quite a lot of stuff. New commercial specializations, tourism. Never actually played with that before, but it is imperative to what we're trying to build over in that initial growth area. Sightseeing bus tours, all types of leisure, a bunch of new policies. We can figure that out. We now have the roads with trees, which is always exciting. It makes our city look a little bit better, makes our land value go up. We definitely have a lot of roads unlocked. In fact, most of this little area is just roads from there all the way down to there. We have bigger police station, bigger fire station. We have oil power plant now. We have bus stations, bigger hospital. This is the point where the city is meant to grow much larger. And again, some more DLC stuff. Sightseeing bus depot, fish farm, trolley bus, medium warehouse for industrial, ferry tram hub. Huh. Might have to check that out. So I do want to implement ferries at some point, although maybe not right now. Riding stable, skate park, a lot of park stuff going on, which is awesome. We have unlocked some new buildings and some new parks, but ultimately nothing too game-changing, nothing that requires the way that we play to change. So for now, we are just going to kind of skip over this and then use the resources as we see fit. Hopefully, this will grow a little bit more. I wanted to see about adding some more buildings along here. I'm going to actually pause the game for this. Do this. Perfect. Now, ideally, this road is supposed to be pretty busy, so this might be a bad idea. I think land value would skyrocket if I had waterside residential areas, which is something that I do really want. And this would probably eventually, if the farming community ever ended and this just became a regular community, this would probably turn into more of high-rise and stuff like that, just because of its proximity to that. And then I also have this beach area that I still haven't built anything with. You know what? Let's go ahead and go in and add our little countdown clock right here. Let's make the Sims scared. We go in and find it real quick. Right there. It is humongous. Oh, I did not give enough space for that. Okay. Let me extend it out a little bit more. Be there. Nope, one more. So, we'll go to there. This might be overkill, but I might just need the spacing in order to make it work. Yeah, that'll be fine. Now we have the countdown clock, which even when we're paused is still going, which is terrifying. But that's probably how that's supposed to go. We have about 70 days until City Skylines 2 comes out. I am super stoked for that. And this is actually a really cool piece design. Has some little assets going on. It looks like this is a little plaza area. This is really cool and obviously very much meant to be in the middle of the city. So this might move at some point, but where it is right now is more than fine for me. So, now that that's in place, I now have our countdown to City Skylines 2. Alright. So I am out of money officially. I have very low demand on everything, and that needs electricity. Let's go ahead and get a power line set up to that real quick. Perfect. Now it has power. So, with that, this might be a bit of a short episode. I set out to accomplish what I wanted to do. With a farming district, which needs more workers. Not making any money, that's probably not good. Maybe I do need storage. I'm gonna go in and add one last crop field. I think that will push us right over the edge to get us what we need. And then I also want to add some storage containers. How much do those cost? 6,000? And then I don't get the small barn yet. Actually, I might wait for the small barn because I am 2 workers away. 1 worker away. Come on, hit it. We hit it. Level 2. So, area bonuses, +4 efficiency, -10 pollution. Great. Access to the farm workers barracks. So, that is actually going to come in clutch because that means I can have more residential zoning without having residential zoning, essentially. 10,000. So, I'm going to save up a little bit of money. I'm going to put down 2 of these. I'm going to cut back whenever this gets to 20,000. Right, I am back. We have 20,000. Now, I want to go ahead and throw down these 2 barracks areas. Eventually what we'll do is we'll actually spruce this up and make it much more lived in, but for now, we've got all kinds of workers and stuff like that going on. All the crop fields are good. I do want to go in and add, which really all that it boils down to is I need more money. So 12,000, I'll probably get one of those in, set up somewhere over here. This seems to be the main highway connection. Storage can be a bit tricky. It can actually cause a lot more traffic than necessary. So you want to make sure that you're doing storage correctly. It can lead to a lot of headaches down the line if you're not careful. But one small little storage area should not be that big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Once we get to 12,000, we'll go ahead and put down a barn. I think this will be small enough for the barn. I do want to actually make it a one-way though. Have it go this way. And then we'll throw in a barn. Yeah, this is plenty of space. We'll throw a barn right here in the middle for now. What this will do is this will actually take in crops from our fields and store it here. If we don't have enough, it'll actually import the crops. So you want to make sure not to have too many of these. But having one here, it'll hold the raw industry materials, and once it's ready, it can be exported out. It does have trucks in use. What that means is that trucks are going to come out, go to the different areas of either the farms when we start producing more, or stuff like that. I think we're running out of power. I'm going to pause for a sec. Let me check. Power. Our power consumption is pretty high. Okay. So let's go ahead and figure out what our next power generator. It might be another coal power plant, just because I don't have access to anything else pretty fun. I might just have to bite the bullet and put it right here. Not where I want it, but it's going to be better than anywhere else for right now. So we'll go ahead and add that coal power plant right there. And we're going to go back over to the farm. Still not making money. That's fine. We'll figure that out as we go. But everything's going to export over to here. Once this gets full, it's going to stop exporting. And then we need these to start transporting goods out. It says balanced. What the way that works is it aims to keep it about half. If it's over half, it'll try to export out and provide demand to our city, and also maybe sell it outside of the city. But the way that things are right now, still not making any money. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and develop this a hair. Let me grab a barn. Oh, flour mill. Why don't we do that? How big is the flour mill? Would it fit right there? Okay. We'll go ahead and throw a flour mill over here. We are running into a trash problem. So that tells me that we do need more garbage over here. Oh, we have a major trash problem. Got it. Is our garbage disposal full? Yikes. Okay. So I need to fix that. So we're going to go ahead and go over to trash again. We're going to put another landfill down. I believe I'm going to have to put that there, and then I want to build the recycling plant ASAP. Okay. So put one there for now. I don't actually think that this is the main thoroughfare where I want recycling to be, and this just needs to be emptied. Because of our garbage problem, some major mistakes have happened. I need a place for garbage. I'm thinking here. I will go in and I want to design a place for the recycling center. I think I want the recycling center to be something like this. This feels like a nice size for the center. Right, so alright, so we have a trash problem, we have a residential problem, and we have tons of space. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end the video here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a recycling center that should be able to facilitate plenty of our needs when it comes to trash, hopefully for the foreseeable future, because landfills are not sustainable. And I will also be adding way more residential. But for now, I do think this is our stopping point. We set out to do exactly what we wanted to do. We made the highway expansion. Obviously, we need to make more junctions and stuff like that. We made a residential area to go along with our farm area, which is excellent. Exactly what we set out to do was to make a farming district and a highway. So, with that being said, next episode will not be a detailing episode. I think we need more sims. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and make it so that sims are stabilized. I want to make it so that there's no more demand for residential, and that we fill up our commercial and our industrial to the point that it's asking for more services. Maybe not industrial, more commercial demand. Just because I kind of want to try to see if I can get a balance going. So then I can start going into more detailing episodes. Because that is where I made the mistake. The first time was I went into detailing when I really just needed more space. With that being said though, I think that we have made some solid progress. Next episode we will turn all of this into residential and try to make it so that our recycling center doesn't kill everybody. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!